ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we still got a turkey down. Inflatables do not do well when it's windy. And it is windy. It's also cold. Temperature right now is about 34. It's windy though. So you're going to hear wind noise in the camera. And the wind chill says it feels like it's 23. It might be about accurate. I have the head cam on tonight. A couple of reasons for that. One, the heat transfer from my head keeps the battery fresh, keeps it from getting cold. Even though I do bring a spare battery. I'm going to do a basic 5-mile route today. Boring, same old route. Like I've made it very clear to you guys, this is an exercise walking vlog. And I just talk about things while I'm walking. Anyways, my friends, didn't want to really admit it, but many Americans are racist, and it's not towards black people actually or anybody else, it's towards Jews mainly. Everybody hates the Jews. I don't get it. I've never felt that way. Oh, the Grinch is hanging on. The Grinch is blowing around. He's looking up at the ceiling. So I'm kind of upset with, you know, a certain percentage of the Republican base are a bunch of anti-Semites and racists. I don't know what to do about it. Democratic Party has the same problem. It's the internet plays a big part in that, I believe, fueling it. Online influencers on different platforms. Elon Musk felt it was necessary for Nick Fuentes to be let back on X in the name of free speech. Personally, I don't agree with that decision. I don't. Anyway, though, I'm not going to give them that much time on my walk. I do want to talk about Epstein files and stuff. So, the Democrats had the Epstein files, didn't do anything with them. And you got a lot of people online trying to say the court had them locked up. They weren't able to be released. Yeah, well, it seemed to me that when Pam Bondi and Kash Patel said the same thing, they were hiding something, right? Remember? According to these people. And it's true, they were being held by the court. So, Congress, who dictates laws for the land, is going to be voting to release those. Truth Social said release everything, release them all. Go ahead, just do it. Get this damn crap over with, he said, so we can get back to what's important. He didn't say that, but... And what happened to the victims is important. But there's nothing in these files that's gonna do anything. I just don't believe it. I think any pertinent info has been destroyed already. During the Obama administration, I believe. So just get it out there, get it over with. It's been made very clear that Trump had nothing to do with any of that stuff. And in fact, because of him, they actually convicted Jeffrey Epstein, who had an axe to grind with Trump. And if there had been anything, it would have come out. It just would have come out by now. We know that. Right now, this is a free gift that was given to Democrats by the Panicans. I tell you about the Panican, the ones who are now complaining about every little damn thing Trump does. I think they are actually controlled opposition, bots, miscreants, whatever you want to call these people. They just want to sabotage things for some reason, because they're bored. Self-defeatism, I don't know what, but I want to see the party unify, and that means getting rid of the racists and the bigots and the anti-Semites. 100%. That we need to do. So anyways, the Democrats forced the Epstein family to release files that they had from the Epstein estate. Those haven't done anything except for a birthday card the Democrats tried real hard to sell, which it didn't. It was so obviously constructed. The cryptic message written on that birthday note was done in a way to fit current events, and it was just so obvious. So anyway, we're not going to have that foolishness, and we're also going to have whatever documents were from past court cases during the Epstein case, which had been locked up by a judge, but now when Congress orders them released, I don't know what happens after that. Do they get released, or do courts fight over it, or what happens with that? I mean, does Congress have the final authority over the judicial? I don't believe so. Supreme Court has that over the judicial. But as far as the governmental branch that Congress is in, Congress has the final say in those matters. So you may see two branches, co-equal branches, clash with each other. Democrats are really hilarious. They got the votes they needed. A Republican put a bill forth to release the Epstein files, and Democrats voted against it. They voted against it because they want to selectively keep leaking these ridiculous emails, trying to frame a narrative. They literally do not care about the victims, like everything else the Democrats do. They're so full of shit. It's unbelievable. So anyways, that's where we are with that. Tomorrow there's going to be a press conference with Marjorie Taylor Greene, who I have told you for quite a while now, she was turning on Trump. Somebody got to her, she was selling out, and now Trump finally realized it 2 or 3 months later, and he's cutting ties with her. So she's blatantly obvious. She's been going on CNN and anybody else that'll have her now, because they want, meaning the network, they want anti-Trump stuff. They want to get her to say bad things about Trump, and she won't do it. But she does all these sideway things. Well, I just believe what he's doing now is not America first, like he campaigned, and so she's trash talking him while not denouncing him. And then she comes out with, well, I'm a Christian, we have to forgive those, you know, like she's taking the high ground and forgiving Trump, and she's the one that's been causing all these problems. She's deceitful. She's not a good person, and I knew that before. I knew that last year before the election when I complained to you guys what she was doing was stupid, and the year before that I complained what she was doing was stupid. So this isn't new for me. If it is for you, I'm sorry, but she's garbage, and she has been. She likes to run her mouth a lot, and it gets her in trouble. I mean, less than 2 months before an election, she's trying to get Mike Johnson thrown out. She's causing all this freaking turmoil in the Republican Party, when voters fucking hate that. The voters don't want to vote for disunity and chaos. You know, so she picked a bad time to do that, or she picked that time to do that on purpose, so he would lose. A lot of these people are looking to gain power. Now, she denies turning against Trump, and she denies turning against Trump because she's eyeballing the Senate seat. But I will tell you, she changed her tone against Trump a few months ago after polling showed that she would not win a Senate seat against a Democrat that she would have to beat if she was in Trump's pocket. So, you know, 2 + 2 will tell you certain things. Now she's like, well, I don't want to be senator. I mean, look how dysfunctional it is. Look what they just did to the country. Why would I want to be a part of that? I mean, she's just completely bullshit. Any one of these congressmen and women would jump at the opportunity to have a 6-year term in the Senate. Are you fucking kidding me? Who the fuck is she kidding? She's bullshit. So I'm glad Trump did that with her. Been long overdue, in my opinion. Rand Paul's always been a bit of a rhino, and you know, he's showing it now. And that's why when people jump all over Lindsey Graham, say, oh, he's a rhino, swamp creature. Well, he's had plenty of opportunity to abandon Trump when it was convenient, and he didn't do it. He's been with Trump after he wasn't with Trump. When Trump first came out before the election, he hadn't won his first term yet. Lindsey Graham was saying bad things about Trump, and so were a lot of other people. Ben Shapiro was another one. Horrible things he said. So these people changed their tone after he won, and they saw what the establishment did to him. So how many of these people are genuine? How many of these people are just being opportunistic? How many of these people are going to jump off the Trump train as soon as things go south for Trump? If there's another impeachment, or when he becomes a lame duck? At some point, Trump is going to lose some of his grip on the party. That's just the way it works. And I want to see what fills the void. And again, I was talking about J.D. Vance. He has to create his own thing. But if the economy is banging along and everything is super perfect, nobody's going anywhere. They'll be on the Trump train until 2028. Then they'll be on the MAGA train, because the MAGA movement is us. It's not Trump. It's not anything else. We are MAGA. Bum, ba, bum, 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 bum. So, anyways, that's my opinion on that stuff. The other thing I want to talk about is the New York Jets. I mean, I'm kind of a football fan. I'm not a huge football fan, I'll admit. I don't even really know who the hell plays these days. I don't even remember this guy's name, but this guy that plays for the New York Jets, cornerback, was going into a restaurant in New York City. He went inside the restaurant, from what I gathered, and he had a disagreement with somebody, and they had some words with him. Then he went outside the restaurant to continue the argument with this guy, and the guy took a gun out and shot the New York Jets player in the chest, who was in the hospital fighting for his life. And they had good surveillance video. Apparently he was recognized very quickly. From what I saw earlier today, they expect to have an arrest within 24 hours. They know who he is, and they'll find who they're looking for. So that's definitely attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, probably an illegal weapon, and probably a bunch of other charges too, stemming from that incident. They have all kinds of these other charges they bring up, like possession, deadly use of a firearm, unlawful deadly use of a firearm, illegal use of a firearm, illegal possession of a firearm. Attempted murder, use of a firearm with intent to kill. And each one of these have different sentences amounts. So, you know, you get caught with that. And the reason why they do that, and I understand it, is they want to have a sentence so long that it's easy to get a plea deal and somebody just pleads guilty. No fuss, no muss. Saves the court money, time. I get it. But that's a system that I find can be abused, as we've seen way too many times of it being abused. Well, the squirrels are getting nice and fat. They're hippity-hoppiting along. So I was going to go straight up that hill, and I got to talking with you guys, and I strayed off down this way out of habit. So I guess I'm stuck going this way, which is fine. Extra half mile. That's okay. I'm actually warm right now. Started out cold, but now I got my body heat going. It takes about a mile this time of year. So I'd like to see a lot of this infighting and panicking activity get remedied. The good news is President Trump is just going to do his job and silence these idiots. Perfect example, the executive order he signed reversing tariffs on things that we don't make here, like bananas, coffee, things like that. So we are going to see a reduction in prices for things like coffee and tea and things like that. So some people may argue, well, why the heck did he do it in the first place? Why did he do that? Well, he's just experimenting with things. But you know, the problem is you get so busy and you lose touch with your base just because you're busy all the time. So he needs to take some time, and voters are always talking about what's important to them, and that was a big one. So the economy is something Trump is going to focus on right now. You know, he's been focusing on tariffs and trade and all this other stuff, which is important. But it's like I said, you know, a couple weeks ago, stop talking about it. Work on the domestic stuff. Do that stuff still, like you were. Be busy like you were if you want to be. Just shut the fuck up about it. He needs to be telling people, we're going to bring housing costs down, insurance costs down, we're going to bring the price of food down. Some things are going down now, which is good. We need to do more. That's what he needs to do. Sending out tariff dividends in whatever form they're going to do it would also be a good idea, because they're not going to increase the national debt. They don't come from the Treasury in that fashion. It's not government printed money or passed by Congress. But I believe Congress is going to have to vote on releasing the tariff revenue, because it did go into the Treasury. So there is a process for that, but it's not like the COVID rebates, free tax money, you know. It's nothing like that. It's not going to take from anything. And quite honestly, we've earned it, because people have been paying more for stuff, and under Joe Biden, we got killed by it. I mean, I remember you could spend $200 on groceries, and you can fill the cart up on $100. Now you get a couple, 3 bags. It's not good, you know? So anyways, we shall stay vigilant. We had a hard-fought election last year, and we won. And we need to stay vigilant. Can't stray. No infighting. No bullshit. The fight is with the left. Our enemy is the Democrats. Specifically the far left extremists, not normal Democrats. I'd never consider normal Democrats an enemy. Problem is, that only represents about 30% of their party. And they're too weak to do anything, so they just nod their head in agreement with the crazies. Or else they won't have their seat. So I get it, you know. But these far left extremist socialists, no place in America for these people. They cause all the problems. They're arrogant. AOC coming out earlier this week. They just went by, well, last week, saying that she would welcome MAGA voters to her camp. I'm like, are you out of your mind? There's not a single MAGA voter that would take her up on that, unless he's got a hot thing for her, which might be possible. Some of these people are just out of touch. After all the crap she did, talking about border patrol on horseback, whipping migrants at the border during Biden's administration. She went to the border and said they were drinking out of the toilets. Fuck you. Fuck you, lady. Friggin' nutbag. And I can tell you, if the Democrats win the House, they are going to go scorched earth on everything. They're going to investigate everyone that was even shook Trump's hand and smiled at him. That's what they're going to do. Even have people trying to remove Trump's pardons for the ones accused of insurrection and rigging elections for Trump. They're trying to have the pardons overturned. That is how rabid they are and how angry. These people are serious. They're not fucking around. That's why I say we should have got rid of the filibuster and just passed a whole bunch of shit, because they're going to do it anyway. They have an axe to grind. They're fucking mad. They're angry and they want revenge. Their voters are going to demand it. But no, we can't do that because we're always the sane thinking ones. Sometimes I wish we could be ruthless like they are. I really do. Well, anyways, looks like the sun, well, late this afternoon the sun was supposed to come out. Some anyways. Looks like it's working on it. Really haven't had good sunshine. We had a little bit Saturday at the range. That was actually kind of nice, because most of the sun's been out in a week and a half. My app says. It's 2 miles. Two miles and 35 minutes. It's actually pretty good. Told you I walk faster when it's cold. There's a lot more of the I want to get this walk over with attitude. Probably getting a better workout when it's cold. Oh yeah. Another tree. I don't remember a tree being on that lawn. Must have been. Unless they dropped it down from somewhere else. Temporarily. Maybe the other side of the house. I don't know. I really don't remember a tree being there. I'm gonna have to go back and watch a video now. I mean, how many times have I walked by that with you guys? I don't see a stump. Speaking of that, I'm stumped. Well, I'm definitely gonna do that later. Pretty good sweat going now. So I'm not happy with a lot of things Elon Musk has done. I'm glad he's not in the White House anymore. I've said that in the past. Things like allowing Nick Fuentes back on their platform. Is blatantly worse than the KKK. You know? I mean, it's not good. He should not be on there. We had a whole bunch of these followers that call themselves groypers. And they have those green frogs. which comes from a meme years ago on 4chan, I believe. Basically, it means you're talking to a racist when they have that. Just so you know. A lot of these people had migrated to Gab. It consisted mainly the people in Gab were people that were blocked everywhere else. So a lot of really bad people on it. Some good ones, but I made an account on Gab and never used it. I also have one on what the hell's the name of that platform? I don't remember what it is anymore. Parlay. I heard it's just about dead now anyway. The other one was that is a good platform. I just don't frequent it. It's a Getter, Gettr. It's not a bad platform, especially if you're a streamer, podcaster. If I start podcasting, that's the kind of place I would end up going to anyway, because they have a nice video to facilitate that. So I do have an account there. I've not used it in forever and a week. That's the beautiful thing. You haven't been there for a while and you don't remember your password. It don't matter. Just click on the forgot password and whatever email you used usually comes up, and if it doesn't, well, I don't know what to tell you. But you can make have an email sent. There's also other different ways. Log in if you lost your info. I keep all my stuff in files on a cloud, and it's just easier that way. So it doesn't matter what device you use, you'll be able to log in. So use my Rumble account much. Doesn't have as much reach, and it also takes a lot longer to upload things. Their servers are slower. Just checking this call I got. I shut the ringer off from my walk, but it doesn't stop my earpiece from saying incoming call while I'm trying to talk to you. And I checked and it was spam, of course, or wrong number. So anyway, I was talking about it the other day, but we have some leg of lamb coming. That was very good last year for Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people do turkey and stuff like that, which, don't get me wrong, I love turkey, but lamb is good too, if cooked properly. You have to cook it right, or else it's difficult to eat and it tastes gamey. Alright, let's head down this way. Seeing a lot of squirrels lately. They're all getting ready. They know something we don't. Hi, little fatso. Squirrel's looking at me like, why'd you just wave at me? Are you gonna come eat me or something? Well, I'm wearing some hiking boots I've not worn in quite a while, and I'm not liking how my feet are sitting in them, even though I have worn these quite often on walks. Sometimes you get used to a certain pair, and then it's difficult to get used to another one. These are the ones that I was always stopping to tie the laces. I don't know if you remember those. I wore these a lot over the past couple of years. I'm sure by the time we're done the walk today, I'm going to have to stop and tie the laces. So I've been pretty happy with my per mile times lately. They've all been around 16, 17 minutes. Very few 19 to 20, 21 minute ones. So walking, you always want to do less than a 20-minute mile to get the cardio. And you want to walk at least 10,000 steps on your exercise session. Now I know I brought this up before. There are a lot of people that say, oh, I get 12,000 steps a day while I'm working. I get my miles in at work. Well, that's great, it is. But it's not the same cardio workout, which is one of the main benefits, as well as calorie burning. Because you can walk 10 feet at work, stop, talk about something, point at stuff, tell some guy you don't like to get off his ass and go do something. It's not the same as a workout, you know? That's all I'm saying. But again, I'm not saying it's bad, it's not. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not saying it's not real, it's not legit. I'm just saying this is a step up, doing it this way, because you're doing it in an hour and a half, approximately, and you get soaked with sweat. It makes you breathe, and get your heart pumping pretty fast. So there's a house across the street that reminds me of the Brady Bunch architecture. Kind of a roof that's too flat for New England though, with snow, in my opinion. That's why you see these roofs, they all have a pretty sharp angle. All of them. It's necessary. All that snow weight on your roof is not good. Alright, we just hit 3 miles. I'm going to hit the outhouse in the park here. Hopefully that'll be there all year, even in the winter. I don't see how it wouldn't, unless they could just pick it up and take it away. It's mounted on some kind of post, they can remove them. But I don't know why they would. If they did, it would have to do with snow removal issues. I was watching some weather forecasting. Originally they had pretty much all of them, according to their models they were using, computer models, were suggesting that New England here was going to be warmer than usual this winter, a little bit, which has been the trend for a few years now. But now they're changing it. They're saying the polar vortex is going to split, and it's going to cause the jet stream to be south of us, which will be more like winters we used to have years ago, where it was cold, sometimes below 0 overnight, high temperatures of 20, 18 or colder. That's the high temps. So personally, I don't believe that's going to be the case, because they also said we're going to get more snow than we usually get. Now, these are people that don't live here saying that. I'm telling you, when we get snowstorms, it warms up. That's what I'm saying. So you might have it warm up, you'll get some snow, storm blows out of town, and then it gets cold. Then it gets warm again, like a cycle like that maybe. Freaking pterodactyls. Bird chasing another one. Is he owing money? He's pissed at him. Look at that. He's dogging him. Oh, almost caught him. He's trying to bite him. Isn't this great? Well, you guys don't need to see what's going on here. All right. On the sanitizing hand sanitizer from the dispenser. Put my gloves back on. So I saw a new ad online from Democrat Graham Plattner. I got a feeling you're going to hear me talking about him a lot. He is miles ahead of Janet Mills on the issues that are important to Democrats. She's just old. She's 76 years old. She's out of touch. She's another one of those people that thinks it's 1996. You know, she sat up there during COVID with all her bullshit protocols and mandates, and a lot of people are still angry about that. We'll wear a mask and we'll hug our loved ones a lot less. Like, this is what we have to do. Fucking stupid. Pretty much most people at this point, except for that 30% of the population, the same idiots that vote for these people, understand that that was a farce. Some people knew it was a farce right from the beginning. I'm happy to say that my family was one of them. We smelled that bullshit right away. I don't know how people can be so gullible. They just don't think, they don't research anything. Just take the government's word for it. Never trust the government on anything. I don't care if it's Trump doing it or somebody I voted for. Never trust the government. I grew up with, and it was literally a thing, don't trust authority. Don't blindly follow them. That's the best safety mechanism, because at some point somebody's bound to abuse that power. And that's what we saw. And it's only because Trump was president, to be honest with you. They wanted to blame the pandemic on him so he wouldn't get re-elected. You know, and the other thing you hear too is, you know, There's no evidence the election was rigged. Actual physical evidence, no. I agree with that. But there were activist secretaries of state, like the idiot we have here in Maine, who actually tried to get 2 candidates removed from the ballot. So to sit there with a straight face and tell me that Democrats are honest and straight shooters, no, they're not. And they had an emergency pandemic protocol, state of emergency for the states. So they bypassed their normal voting protocols and they mailed ballots out to everyone, and they forgave signature verification. What do you think happens when you do that? So, was it a nationwide conspiracy? No, it was not. But the swing states that matter, I would say yes. Was Trump going to win all the swing states, even if there were no pandemic? No, he wasn't. But Pennsylvania was the one that mattered, and that's the one where they did most of that, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion. And we saw their behavior after the last election in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. You even had some election officials ignoring the Supreme Court there, which the Supreme Court were Democrats. And that woman had to issue an apology. She should be prosecuted for that. If they're serious about election integrity, word of that would get out very quickly throughout the entire state. And that's the purpose of passing laws and sending people to jail, so people understand it's wrong to do it. You have consequences you'll pay. Thanks. So, I mean, geez, you know, let's say murder, for example. There's no consequences for it. How many more people would do it if they knew they weren't going to get prosecuted? Robbery. Let's say bank robbery, just all of a sudden people could get away with it. People would be robbing banks. I mean, it's not rocket science. So when you let people get away with cheating, they're going to cheat as soon as it's convenient. Today I'm going to kind of do a back the way we came kind of thing. Alright, I'll walk down this way again. I am going to make sure I check out a video to see why that lawn had that felled tree cut up on it. I could swear I do not remember seeing a tree there before. And if there is, I'm going to feel really stupid. I obviously have video evidence. I got a whole ton of walks walking that route. So we'll see what shakes loose. I'm already dreading it because, you know, that tree had to come from somewhere, and the chances of that tree being cut down somewhere else and then put there is pretty low. I got a feeling I'm going to feel pretty stupid. This guy on the bike. Electric bicycle. Electric bicycles are becoming quite popular. But I'm telling you, they're a fire hazard. Charge those fully outside your house, outside your garage. If you're not going to sit there and watch it the whole time it's charging, which can take a very long time, a few hours, charge it outdoors. Those batteries are very dangerous, explosive, and it's one of the leading causes of structure fires in New York City. People leave those plugged in their hallways and they overheat. That goes for other things as well. I mean, I don't think you got to worry about, you know, like power tool batteries, things like that. But motorized skateboards, unicycles, bicycles, they use that high-powered battery, and those have a propensity to burst into flames, and we have seen that with electric vehicles, especially if you have some corrosion. You know, that's why I think it's dangerous on a bike, because somebody might get caught in the rain, run through puddles, maybe use their electric bike when it's snowing out, and then you get corrosion on the contacts, and that corrosion is the same thing that causes a lot of those electric vehicle fires, because you're changing the ohm resistance, because corrosion adds resistance. So the only way to prevent that when you change the ohms is to have a heavier gauge of wire to compensate for the extra current. But you're not going to go replace all the wiring in the bike because something got corroded. It doesn't even make sense. So if you replaced all the wiring, it wouldn't be corroded anymore. So make sure you clean all your contacts. I would recommend, if you get anything that's like plug and play, using dielectric grease. Keep the moisture out of the contacts. That's what they use in the automotive industry. So all of your sensor connectors and stuff like that in your vehicle are waterproofed. And when they're not, you have problems. So we're going back the same way that we came. Usually I don't like to do that on walks when it's warm, but you know, colder temperatures, yeah, I'm okay with it. Important thing is getting my 5-mile minimum. That's the main goal. My joints feel better today than they did yesterday. That was a rough walk yesterday, let me tell you. Didn't enjoy that at all. Today it's not so bad. Despite not being used to these hiking boots, even though I used to wear them all the time. My feet forgot what they feel like, if that makes sense. It's getting colder. I'm going to need something warmer on my feet than what I've been wearing. That's the main purpose of it. Like when we go to the range, I'm going to be wearing my Timberlands that I only wear to the range. They're a little extra roomy. And what I do is I put on a regular pair of socks. Then I put a pair of thick socks over those. And they fit snug in the boots without being too tight. And they're very warm, waterproof boots. I could use them for walking, but I don't want to wear them out walking when I use them at the range. So for a while. These are some LL Bean gloves. I'm wearing the finger out on this one, but the reason why that finger is worn out is that's from cleaning snow in the driveway with the snow blower. As you clamp down the thing to keep the auger bit going, and it rubs on the edge of the handle. So that's what did that. But I've had these gloves for a few years. Very good quality leather. LL Bean makes some good stuff. They cost more, but it's good. I have spilt kerosene on these, gasoline, all kinds of stuff. They're still kicking. I have had these soaked with slush, put them on heaters to dry them out. They have held together. And you can see, even with this middle finger that wore out, most gloves that would be gone, you know, your finger would be sticking out, but it has an inside layer that's still, it's got a little teeny little hole there, but it's still a glove. So that's where the little extra money for these went. You get one finger that gets a hole in it, and the glove is useless. Unless you can find an amputee sale on eBay. And don't laugh, sometimes there are. Amputee doesn't have much money, bought a pair of shoes, only needs one. Makes an ad for one shoe, one brand new unworn shoe. Amputee. Maybe there's another amputee that needs the other foot. You know what I mean? Maybe somebody lost one of their shoes. Oh, I lost one of my shoes. I like those shoes. They were like new. See if I can find a left foot. I have other LL Bean stuff, shirts, button downs, very good quality clothing. All right, we got a new battery in there. We got a new battery in. The one that was in there petered out. It petered. We're back on track. Yeah, some of these people on the left really don't know what's wrong with them. Why do they always have a propensity for violence, terrorizing, intimidating, scaring people? Why do they do that? There was a patriot in Maine here, in Bath. She organized a flag waving off an overpass, which is a very common thing for patriots to do. You get on an overpass, you wave an American flag, and people beep when they go by underneath the bridge. No harm in that, right? Well, some leftists contacted her and her husband, issued death threats, and she canceled it. She canceled it because she doesn't want anything to happen to her son, who is a minor, has to go to school and stuff. So, you know, that's understandable. The point being, you know, that's domestic terrorism. You're contacting somebody electronically to threaten them if they go stand on a bridge and wave a flag and exercise their First Amendment right. That's terrorism. But there is a happy ending to this story. Well, she decided not to show up. A local patriot running for office took her place and went up there with a flag with someone in his family. And they did the flag wave anyway, as a fuck you to these domestic terrorists, far left extremist, cocksucking motherfucking assholes. There, I got that out of my system. So, that's how you know these people are losing. The more violent they get, the more threats they make, the more intimidating they try to be, it's indicative of how they're losing. So, just the way that is. So that means we're making progress. But anyway, these fucking people, huh? I couldn't believe that. I was in the, I read that in the Maine Wire today. Maine Wire is a very good, independent, mostly conservative, I'll call it. Maine Wire. They do a lot of good things. The first prominent politician to give them any attention at all here in Maine was Susan Collins, which was nice, because the Maine Wire did investigative reporting, as well as I think it was the Daily Caller. One of those conservative dailies. Anyway, they investigated the illegal Chinese marijuana grows in Maine. And that became a national news story after that. So that was Mr. Robinson from the Maine Wire. He's also one of the people that covered the... See, they had this paramilitary training in northern Maine, which is just basically people getting together on the weekend and doing military training with their Second Amendment right, which should be illegal. Well, the Democrats didn't like it and made it illegal. They passed legislation. Because, which, I don't know what the status of that is in the courts, but there was a self-professed neo-Nazi, okay? One of these guys that's neo-Nazi, skinhead, had the swastikas, all that stuff, was training. And this was one of the casualties of the January 6th thing that happened. Because Democrats in Maine went on a "we need to stop domestic terrorism" because we'll have another J6 with violent people doing violent things. So they passed that legislation. It turns out the person they used for an example to pass that legislation, after it was passed, because of the media attention it was getting, and he was getting, it turned out that he donated to Joe Biden and he voted for Joe Biden. He wasn't registered as a Democrat, but he wasn't a Republican, and he hated Republicans and conservatives. So he ended up just moving out of the state somewhere else. So the Democrats went through that whole entire exercise here for somebody that turned out to vote for Biden and hated Republicans. And the Democrats try to politicize everything so quickly. They don't verify things, they don't check things out, and they end up looking dumb. Now we have a paramilitary training law here, which people ignore. And they should. It should be removed. It's unconstitutional. Even that Graham Plattner running for Senate for Democrats, he paramilitary trained some LGBT people on how to use weapons and firearms. That's not illegal. That is not illegal. That's what the Second Amendment's for. I don't agree with that group of people. I think they're a bunch of violent lunatics. But the point being, this is the United States of America. You have a right to bear arms. You have a right to train. And if you're so fucking nervous about it, go get your own firearms and you train to protect yourself from those people. That's the whole fucking point. So anyways, my friends, crazy is what crazy does. We got a lot more crazy coming. I just walked by that part here where all summer long we saw a whole bunch of used condoms, and that's because people go parking around the corner here. Crazy times. Well, the chickens are out. She's got her chickens out. I'm sure you can't see them. Maybe you can. Oh. Yeah, you can see those. Chickens! Speaking of which, I got some of their frozen relatives thawing out in the sink. They're gonna be dinner later. Heat that tells you. Winding this walk down another half mile or more. I just hit 5 miles now. My goal today was 5 miles. Well, I guess I got it, because I didn't go straight up the hill. I took the scenic route. Ooh, the wind's blowing my back. I'm actually pushing back against the wind. Glad I have a warm coat. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So I've been reading about something unusual. It's not off the coast of Maine, but it's in the neighborhood. But orcas have been attacking fishing boats. They've been ramming them. Now there used to be, if you ever watched that movie Orca, J.Beau and that dude that was in it, I forgot his name, but that movie called Orca, they covered a little bit about that, where orcas would destroy fishing boats, drown the men, and then eat them. So a lot of people are trying to say that these orcas are responding on behalf of Mother Nature because we're damaging their habitats, or they're angry with something. My guess would be it's probably the sound made by these fucking windmills underwater, driving these things crazy. That's what I think. So I know it's kind of a weird news story, but you can look that up if you want to. There was actually some info online about it recently. Killer whales attacking fishing boats. There you have it. Old folklore comes around again. That has been depicted in old paintings, old fisherman wise tales. Apparently there's some truth to it. Nobody knows why they do it. That's where they got the name killer whales. And usually they're pretty docile and they don't bother people. But I have seen video of them attacking great whites. They do it as a team. They use their very hard nose and their head, and they will ram the shark either in the gills, and it stuns them so they're incapacitated. Kind of knocks them out. because they breathe through their gills. And then while the thing is passed out, the killer whales will eat the damn liver. That's really what they want out of the shark, is the liver for their life-giving nutrients. Isn't that crazy? Seen video of that online. These killer whales ripping the shark apart, eating the liver. Crazy. Gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. Well, we got about another half mile or so until I sign off with you. We're going to be close to 6 miles today, which will definitely put us over 1,231 miles, I believe, on the year. My goal is 1,339. I get a feeling this December is going to be very dicey weather-wise. It's not going to be an easy accomplishment this year, if the forecast holds. More snow than usual. And last December we barely had anything. Oh, car started. I gotta be careful here. Last winter didn't really start till January. Most of December we had rain, so I did a lot more walking. In January though, I only walked 6 days, and I had about the same in February. So 12 days walking in 2 months. Not very good. That's why my mileage is limited right now compared to last year at this time, because we had a mild January and February the year before, and I walked a lot more. So I had 12 walks in the first 2 months, so I was behind right out the gate. And I have done a lot of walking this year, and I should have surpassed 1339. So, because I can get at least 40 miles a month, a week. So it's 160 a month, and I'll be at 1231 after today. So I'm gonna have about 6, maybe 7 weeks of walking left, and I don't know how much the weather is going to play into that. Shall be interesting to see, my friends. You think I can make it? Do you think I will make it? Yes or no? Leave me a comment. Do at least 5 miles a day. Pretty much walk 7 days a week. So that's at least 35 miles, and you always have these extra residuals. It always comes out to about 40 miles or more. So if you lowball it at 35 to 40, definitely 40 a week, regardless. You can kind of use that as a guesstimate. All right, I'm gonna cross the street here. Yeah. I'll be winding down this walk. Try not to get hit by this truck. They saw me. It's a little Ram truck. I should take the R off and put a W. It's not a Ram truck, it's a little Wham. It's a Wham. It's a little Wham truck. Cute little truck. Tiny little truck. We just hit 5.5 miles. It looks like I'm definitely getting at least 6 today, but I'll be signing off with you before then. This is that vehicle still here. This car has been in this spot, hasn't moved since July. Eventually that's going to get towed by the city as soon as we have snow removal order for a storm. Anybody parked on the road will get towed. I think they mainly do that on the main roads. These back streets here, I've seen a couple times already where they just plowed around somebody and they didn't get towed. So we'll see what they do. And again, I don't know that guy's story, but I do know that I used to see him out here all the time. Big, tall, black guy. We've seen him in the videos before. Probably 6'6", something like that. He was always out here with his buddies, and they were doing stuff with their cars, and they're all gone. He's gone too. So they're either hiding from ICE, then went back where they came from, and they just left the car here. Probably needs work anyway. The front hood was caved in a little bit. And so he's either in jail, dead, picked up by ICE, detained, or he's in the hospital recovering from something. That's possible too. Hi, little fat squirrel. Hey, little buddy. Inside that hi. There he is, going up on the fence. How you doing, buddy? It's okay. He wants to get to that tree. All right, we just saw the amazing agility of squirrels. So I am going to take this off just to say, how you doing, everybody? I hope you enjoyed walking with J.Beau today. Click like and subscribe, share the content, and say a prayer for Trump and the country, and we'll get through all of this ridiculous Democrat Epstein hoax together. And the Epstein files is not a hoax. What Epstein did is not a hoax. When Trump says it's a hoax, he means this is something else the Democrats are using, insinuating that Trump is guilty of something. That's the hoax. So the media likes to play it like, oh, Trump doesn't believe these people. He says the Epstein stuff was a hoax. That is not what he's saying. So anyways, we'll see you guys on the next walk. Thank you for walking with me. Thanks for walking with J.Beau. Stay safe, and God bless all of you. See you guys soon. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye now. See ya.